that what we're doing right now is actually the proper thing and the correct thing to do than anything that we can possibly be doing tonight. Now, a question is asked amongst a lot of the Chassidim, which is why that we saw 2 weeks ago in the Parasha that the angel of Esav comes and attacks and fights who? Yaakov Avinu Alav Hashem. Where it says that the entire night, him and Yaakov, they fought a battle. Chazal asked, he said, I don't understand. Why Yaakov? How come the angel of Esav, which represents the Yetzer Hara, how come he didn't attack Avraham? How come he didn't attack Yitzchak? Why did he wait so long until Yaakov Avinu Alav Hashem, and until Yaakov Avinu was already older in age, only then to attack? So now, maybe we can say something that is actually the essence of our world. Now, it says that Chesed, Yetzer Hara, if he comes and he fights with Chesed, there's no victory there. What's Chesed? Kindness. There's no victory if the evil inclination comes and fights kindness. There's no victory if the evil inclination comes and fights Avraham Avinu Alav Hashem. Why? Because Avraham Avinu represents what? Chesed, kindness. So even if he fights Avraham, Yetzer Hara could live with kindness. He could live with Avraham Avinu. Yitzchak, same thing. What is it going to help? The Satan, if he fights Yitzchak is what? Gevurah. Gevurah is strength. So Yetzer Hara is going to go to war against Yitzchak. Yitzchak is going to show the Sephirah which he represents, which is Gevurah, and it's going to hit like two stones one another. Yetzer Hara will get hit, Yitzchak will get hit, and nothing will move. So Yetzer Hara has no motivation to fight Yitzchak. But Yaakov is different. Why is that? We know Rabotai, what does Yaakov represent? Tiferet. We say Yaakov tam Yoshev Ohalim. What does that mean? Yaakov is a simple person that sits in the tent and he studies Torah. He represents the Torah. We say Titen Emet LeYaakov. Give the truth, give the Emet to Yaakov. Yaakov Avinu represents the Torah. Even the Zohar Kadosh that we mentioned in the past. Every single day, we have another Sephirah that we speak about, that we connect to. So on Sunday, like we mentioned, it is Avraham, which is Chesed. Monday, it is Gevurah, which is Yitzchak. Tuesday, we say what? Yaakov. But what's so special about Tuesday, like today, where we are today? It says in the Zohar Kadosh that Tiferet, the Sephirah of Yaakov, the Sephirah of today, is the attribute, the Sephirah, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wears and dresses himself to act in the world. Meaning that whenever HaKadosh Baruch Hu acts in this world, he needs a form. He can't act with what hand? With HaKadosh Baruch Hu has no shape, he has no form, he doesn't need a shape, doesn't need a form. So how can you act with material without having a material hand? So the material hand of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in this world is what? Tiferet, the Torah. Yaakov Avinu, which represents the Torah, Yaakov Avinu, which receives all the strength from the Torah, him, the angel of Esav, the Yetzer Hara, wanted to fight. Because there is nothing more rewarding to Yetzer Hara than pulling down the Torah, than pulling down the light of the truth. Because when one pulls down the Torah and pulls down the light of the truth, that is when a person can truly come and take victory on Israel, which is also Yaakov. And that is why Rabotai, the angel of Yaakov, the entire night fought with Yaakov and Hashem. It wasn't his intention to actually fight and to win a war. His intention, this is what the Zohar says, was to drag him out, to tire him the entire night, but not just tire him by fighting physically. Because clearly, the whole night he fought and Yaakov was not interested even a little bit. But to tire him in the sense that usually Yaakov, what would he do the night? Study Torah. But now that he's going to be doing something else that's not studying Torah, he'll be doing Bitul Torah, time which could have been put in the right place. And by doing so, what would happen? It would weaken Israel and would pull down and strip Israel from all its strength. And that's what is Chanukah all about. What is Chanukah? We say Chanukah, it's the holiday of what? It wasn't the holiday where Bnei Israel were threatened with their bodies to be murdered. It was, what was threatened in the holiday of Chanukah? The Torah. That is why Purim, there's a mitzvah to do a meal. Purim, the Seudat Purim, where there's so many rules, when you do the meal, how you do the meal, what type of food you consider to be doing the meal. Which Chanukah, there's no meal. The Halakha Shulchan Aruch says black and white. Yesh k'tzat mitzvah. There's a little bit, maybe mitzvah in doing a meal on Chanukah. But there's no concept of eating in order to fulfill a mitzvah of Chanukah. Why? Because on Purim, they threatened to kill people, where it says that רוצים לבוא, להרוג, להשחית, לעבד, they want to kill, they want to חס ושלום, obliviate, to erase, not the Jewish people by their identity, but the Jewish bodies. So because it was a miracle, a physical miracle, how do we celebrate? With a meal. But Hanukkah, they said, live in peace. We're not going to kill you, we're not going to kill your kids, we're not going to kill nobody. Just throw your Torah out, chas v'shalom. Follow our Avodah Zarah, which is actually the story of Hanan and her 7 sons. And if you do that, we'll let you live. They wanted to come and to turn off the light of the Torah. So what do we do, Rabbi, in Hanukkah? Light. We turn on the menorah. They want to cancel out our light. We spread more light by doing Pirsuma Denisa, by glorifying the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, by putting the light on our window to spread it even further and further and further. So now, Botay, imagine what merit we have on the Chag. We're not Purim. Purim, I would say, we cancel the shiur, we go do Purim. But on the Chag of light, on the holiday where we glorify the light of Hashem, on the holiday where we stand with the light, which is the Torah, and we teach and spread what type of Torah? Not just Torah, which is already light. Not what type of Torah? Zohar Kadosh. What's the name Zohar? What's the translation of Zohar in English? Light, shine, the book of light. So really, Rabotai, our merit is very, very big. So in that merit, that Hashem, of the holy light of Hanukkah, in the merit of the light of the Zohar Kadosh, in the merit of all tzaddikim, of my grandfather Rabbi Moshe Pinto, of Rabbi Pinto, Rabbi Yaakov B'chatzira, may HaKadosh Baruch Hu Hashem bless everyone with all the brachot, still on everyone's shefat belidai, and may HaKadosh Baruch Hu, any prayer we do, we lift our hands to the sky and we ask, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will grant it. Amen. So Abotai, today Be'ezrat Hashem, we're going to continue with a subject we've been speaking about for the past few weeks, which is the 7 gates of Shamayim. We call them the Sheva Echalot HaTfilah, the 7 gates, the 7, I don't know if the word realm is applicable, of prayers. But actually we learn that they're called the 7 gates of prayers, but they're not even necessarily attached to prayers. They are just the connection between this world and the next. Well, like we mentioned, Abotai, a house has doors where you could enter, but those doors can also be used to do what? To exit. So it's the same thing. Our tefillot use these gates to go up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But also what comes down from HaKadosh Baruch Hu must go through these doors and through these entrances. So now, Abotai, we are actually in what gate? 3rd gate, Noga. So the first gate is Lavan Tzafir. Second gate is Etzem HaShamayim. The 3rd gate is Noga. Now Noga, as we explained, is a very unique gate for the fact that it does not have one entrance, but it has 4. So each of the 4 doors actually have different purposes and different acts they act with. This week, we're in the 3rd door of the 3rd gate. So I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible. Now this 3rd door, its name, it goes by the angel who stands by it, which the angel who stands on this door, his name is Kafziel. Now what is the purpose of this door? What does this door act? So actually, Rabotai, this door is something simple. All the chol, all the oni, all the isurim, all the bad things, chas v'shalom, that come down to a person must go through this door. Now you know, Rabotai, something very important that we have to explain that's actually written in the Zohar Kadosh in Parasha Bereshit is actually why HaKadosh Baruch Hu did this order. Because when you look in this gate, you see that this entire gate, the 3rd one, Noga, door by door, they're very negative concepts. The first one is gezerot. The second one is decrees. The second one is life and death. The 3rd one now is suffering. Hashem Yirachem. Why is this door always full of negative things? The 4th door, Baruch Hashem, is healing. So healing we're going to do Be'ezrat Hashem next week, and how one can reach to a complete refuah according to the Kabbalah. That's for next week. But why is it, Rabotai, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu put these 3 doors simultaneously, what seem to be negative doors, one right after each other, but what's more not clear is why did he put these 3 negative doors in this gate? Which, as we know, Rabotai, and this is why, Rabotai, hold on for a second. As we know, Rabotai, Where does negativity fall in the Sfirot? Where? Gvura. Which Gvura is strength. The concept of strength is where also negative can take strength from. Where actually any time we look at Gevura, strength, we automatically even associate automatically to negativity. Where can we see that? Right hand, left hand. Right hand is Chesed. Chesed we say it's Kedusha. Left hand is Gvura. What do we say about the left hand? It's the bad hand. We do Netilah afterwards. We do everything to make sure that we don't give strength to the left hand. Why? Because it represents the Gevura. So Zohar asks, if these three gates are three negative gates simultaneously, which between me and you, Rabotai, I'm not even mentioning half of the detail of these gates. Because half of the detail of these gates I'm not even allowed to speak about out loud, because their names are not good things that we're not supposed to say them. So Bichlal, we're cleaning it out and we're keeping it as not negative as possible. But if we have already these three negative gates, why aren't they in the gate of negativity, of Gvura, which is actually the fourth realm? Which one is that? Zechut. How come the three negative gates, doors, fall inside the realm of Netzach, which Netzach is victory? What's the connection between them? So actually, Rabbi Zohar in Parasha Bereshit says that Kadosh Baruch Hu did this order, and if somebody didn't understand exactly, I'll repeat. Kadosh Baruch Hu did this order in a very specific manner. Why? As we know, Abotai, what Sephira is in the first gate? Malchut and Yesod. What does Malchut and Yesod represent? Yesod represents Brit, a man keeping his Brit. Malchut represents what? Tzniut, that's for a woman. So you have Brit and Tzniut, put that aside. Second Sephira is what? Hod. What is Hod? One being thankful. What is the essence of one being thankful? Emunah. Because if a person can look around his world and really be thankful for everything that Kadosh Baruch Hu gave him, good or bad, it means he has emunah. The Zohar said that Hashem did this order for a very, very unique reason. The Zohar said that if Kadosh Baruch Hu was to put these three negative doors in the gate of Gvura, of strength, it said that the negativity would have such a power, with these words it uses, it would eat the world. It would consume the world, Hashem. So what did HaKadosh Baruch Hu do? He put Tzniut, Kedusha, Brit, first gate. Second gate, Emunah. That the moment that a person holds on to the Brit and Emunah, he already sweetens any judgment, Chas v'shalom. Because once a person holds the Brit in his hand, meaning holds that purity, that Kedusha, and it's Tzniut for a woman, and he has Emunah, he's already a tzaddik. Even though maybe he's not completely in all the 613 mitzvot, but he's already considered pure, he's already considered to be a man of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Once a person is like that, this is what the word of the Zohar says, it sweetens the judgment. Where the judgment has no longer any strength to come and to fight against the person. So right after those two crucial things that a person needs to have, we enter into victory, nitzachon. Which actually the nitzachon is what? It's where a person can come from the lowest point and reach to the highest levels. Like Moshe Rabbeinu. We said Moshe Rabbeinu, what was he? He was floating in the river. And from floating in the river as a kid, that's usually a kid that's lost like that in the river, has no hope to live, ended up doing what? Ended up going to the sky like an angel. And that's what is the essence. If we hold on to those two first gates, like we mentioned, that a person needs one in order to get to the next. If we hold on to those two gates, we can come to a complete victory. So the fact that there are these negative subjects in this gate of Noga, in this section of Noga, it is actually what? It is actually a person's path to getting to victory. Because we're not going to pay attention to the negativity, because we're already holding Be'ezat Hashem, our strong emunah, and we're also holding on to our what? To our purity, to our kedusha. So that is why Abotai, just as a disclaimer before we enter into Be'ezat Hashem, this door. So Abotai, third door. The angel that stands on top of his what? What is his name? Kaftsiel. Now what is his job? His job is not that Chas v'shalom he writes who's going to live, who's going to die, or etc. His job is actually what? Whether or not to accept a changing of the judgment or not. What does that mean? So actually, The real judgment of Isurim, we're going to speak about only in a few weeks. Because that's the fourth level. In the fourth level, our judgments come down, and they go through this door. If the door gets opened, and Kaftiel opens the entrance, the judgment goes in and gets cancelled. If the door is locked, there's nowhere for the judgment to go, and it goes down level by level until it reaches to the bottom point, where the bottom point it comes to a fruition. So the question is, Abutai, how can we cause this door to be open? How can we cause for the angel Kaftiel to actually be our Yeshua, be our redemption, and be a part of cancelling any decree that a person has? And like I mentioned, Abutai, it could include decrees of Parasha. It could include decrees of sickness, chas v'shalom. It could include decrees of sickness, of tsar, of sadness. All those decrees, we can cancel them if we pinpoint on this shiur Be'ezrat Hashem tonight. So that's I think something that is very important. Because a lot of people, they have this concept that whenever they're going through hardships in their life, what do they say? Or if it's suffering in Parasha, if it's struggle in Parasha, if it's struggling in health, what's the first thing that they say? They say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I don't know why, I'm always good to you, and still you do like this to me. I keep my Torah, I keep my Mitzvot, and there can't be a reason why you're punishing me with all these hardships, with all these sufferings, with all these bumps on the road. Sometimes we want to do the simplest tasks, and we feel bump after bump after bump after bump. And we say, this can't be because of me. This can't be in my control. This can't be in my power to change anything. But actually, Rabotai, that is a big mistake. Because we're going to learn, Rabotai, in a moment, where any single suffering, any single hardship, any single thing that seems to us to be hard or something that is not necessarily positive, we could overcome with reaching to one simple point. The Gemara Botai says, what happens to a person like that? What does a person like that need to do? That he feels Hashem hitting him from every possible direction he gets hit. The Gemara says something simple. Yimashmesh b'ma'asav. What does Yimashmesh b'ma'asav mean? A person that wants to get rid of all his hardships needs to do one thing. He needs to sit down, look in his deeds, find what he's doing which is not right, fix it, do teshuvah, or if not teshuvah, do a tefillah, and in that moment, he can completely cancel any bad decree, or any bad suffering that he's going through. That there is no such thing that a person goes through a suffering or through a hardship which is for no reason. There is always a reason. If we can fix it, we can make it disappear. The moment we fix it, that door gets opened, Kaftiel opens that door, and that decree is no longer existent. There's a story, Rabotai, in the Gemara with Rabbi Lazar, that it said that one time a man came to Rabbi Lazar, and he said, Rabbi Lazar, I have a big problem. I have my neighbors, they're Jewish, they are killing me. They put on loud music, they are bothering me from the morning to the night. They are trying to sell me out to the government because I keep it my Torah and Mitzvot. Any opportunity they have to harm me, they harm me. They try to poison my well that I have. Anything I do, they search to give me harm. So he told Rabbi Lazar, I want to go now to the government and I want to sell them. I want to tell the government that these people are crooks and I know that they're doing illegal things. And I'm going to give them to the government and they're going to end up getting punished. What should I do? So the Gemara in Bachot says that Rabbi Lazar looked at this man and he told him a simple sentence. Dom והשם להתחולל, השכם והערב בבתי מדרשות ובבתי כנסיות, והם קלים מעליהם. What does that mean? Rabbi Lazar told him, when you wake up in the morning, go to shul, pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When you go to sleep at night, before you do so, go to shul, pray, do some Torah, involve yourself with Torah and Mitzvot. The moment you will do that, all your problems, your problems will disappear. that with the power of tefillah, Rabotai, tefillah and teshuvah, we could completely overcome and cancel any decree or hardship that a person is going through. There is nothing that a person cannot change, something that is uncomfortable in his life, without tefillah and without teshuvah. You know what the Gemara says? If a person prays and he realizes that he's praying, he said, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, look, I'm praying and my prayer is not heard. What should I do? The Gemara says, Yachzor Shenit. You repeat. That there is no decree that a person cannot cancel without tefillah and without teshuvah. Tefillah and teshuvah are the essence of canceling one's hardships, one's suffering in his life. And this Rabotai actually leads us to a story in the Zohar Kadosh, where it teaches us, Rabotai, how far the concept of just doing teshuvah, just looking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and saying, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Mechila, for all the wrongs that I've been doing, and from now on, take upon myself a complete teshuvah, and I want to walk in your path. It said Rabotai in the Zohar Kadosh, it's Sefer Bereshit actually too. But one time, Rabbi Elazar, different Elazar, but Rabbi Elazar, the son of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, was sitting in the field with a group of his students. And the Zohar Kadosh says that while they were sitting in the field, they had a river running right by them of clean water. They had a big tree that they were able to sit down in the shade. And that tree wasn't a regular tree, it was a fruit tree. And they sat down, Rabbi Elazar and Chaveriya. Chaveriya means his group of tzaddikim that would learn with him. And they were studying Torah. And the Zohar, the way it describes it, it's like Gan Eden, the way the Zohar puts it into words. It says while they were studying, while they were deep in their teaching, not just deep in their teaching in a normal environment, deep in the teaching in a beautiful environment, one of the Tanaim, one of the tzaddikim look, and they see right beside them a big snake traveling and crossing the field. The students jumped, they got scared, they said, what is this snake doing so close to us? Rabbi Elazar, the son of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, looks at the snake, gets up and runs to it. His students look at him, say, what is Rabbi Elazar doing? And suddenly, what does Rabbi Elazar start to do? He starts to talk to the snake. He says, snake, stop. Don't go where you are going and stay here. So he said that the snake didn't move. He stopped right there. The snake, the students are looking at Rabbi Elazar, saying, is he actually talking to the snake? Rabbi Elazar went back to his study, and they saw the snake didn't move from that place. They started to get up and to walk, and what happened to the snake? It started to travel in that exact same direction. So Zohar Kadosh says, Rabbi Elazar, instead of going to wherever they were planning on going, went back to the snake. And he told the snake, he said, I know what you are going to do. I know that you have judgment that you have to bring to the world. I know that the Yetzer Hara sent you to do a job for him. But I am doing a gzera. I am doing a decree, which we know what the Zohar Kadosh said, that when the will of the tzaddikim HaKadosh Baruch Hu keeps. So, not just the Zohar, it's the Gemara and Mishnah. Whatever the tzaddik brings down a decree becomes a reality. Rabbi Elazar said, I'm making a decree that the man that you're going to kill, you have no permission to kill him. But, since you have a job to do, there's a man in a cave in this mountain. Go there, and you can kill that man. That man did a terrible sin. You have to put the judgment from one place to the other. Take the judgment off the man that you're in your path to kill, and put it on someone else, on that man in the cave. And they left. Rabbi Abba, one of the students of Rabbi Elazar, looked at them. He said, I don't know what happened to Rabbi Elazar. Now he's talking to snakes. He said that while they're traveling, an hour or two passed, Rabbi Elazar said, let's go to that cave. I want to go see that cave where I sent the snake to. So they got up and they started to travel to the cave. And when they got to the cave, the Zohar Kadosh says, they found that snake tied around the man, and that man was no longer alive. So the first thing that Rabbi Elazar did, he jumps on the man. The students were shocked that Rabbi Elazar was not afraid of the snake. Pushes the snake off, and starts to pet down this man. And suddenly, he goes into the pocket of the man that is no longer alive, that the snake killed, and he pulls out a sack of diamonds and gold and very precious stones and very precious material. And Rabbi Elazar takes it, puts it in his pocket, and says, now we go. The student said, I don't know, Hashem Yachem. Rabbi Elazar sent the snake to go kill somebody to take the money. But they said, you know what? He's the son of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Let's not question. They leave the cave, they start to walk, and suddenly they see a man which is completely bloody, a man which is completely hurt, and he's crying and crying and crying. So Rabbi Elazar ran to this man. He said, what happened? He said, Rabbi Elazar, you don't know what happened to me. I was traveling in the road. I was holding all the money I've been working for my entire life. I wanted to go to marry my daughter, to buy her a house, to start her life off. And suddenly a robber came, hit me and beat me up, and took all my money. But what is more sad than that is that half of the money that was there is money that doesn't even belong to me. There's a lady, which is an orphan, a widow, that she gave me an amount of money to transfer from one place to the other, and half of that money belongs to her. So put aside the fact that I lost all my money, what am I going to do about her? So Rabbi Elazar said, don't worry. He reached his bucket, pulled out the bag. He said, is this your bag of gold? The man looks at it. He said, Rabbi Elazar, how did you do that? It's a miracle. And he gave him that sack of gold. Now the student said, wow, Rabbi Elazar performed another beautiful miracle. And they continued to walk. They said, we have to go tell Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the author of the Zohar Kadosh, the father of Rabbi Elazar, what his son did. So they start to travel to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And while they're traveling, they see a man sitting on the floor, and he has dust on him, and he's praying with his hands up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So Rabbi Elazar grabbed the students and told them, he said, look, let me tell you what really happened today. Today, there was a man that he did things which he was not supposed to do. He did things which a very bad person does. Mishamayim, they gave a letter to Samael, Satan, Malach Mavet, to go and to kill that man. So what did the Satan do? He took his favorite creature, the snake, his first partner, and he told him to go and to take that man's life. But when I saw the snake, I had in my heart, in my head, I received the Ruach HaKodesh, that the man that the snake is going to kill, right now is in the process of praying to Hashem and in the process of doing teshuvah. That man you see there, that his hands are up to Shamayim and he's on his knees, he is the man that was supposed to be killed. But I had a feeling that he was going to do teshuvah. I had a feeling that he was going to pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So I said, how can I avoid some time and give him a chance to complete his teshuvah, to complete his prayer, in order for this decree to be cancelled? So what did I do? I took that judgment of Chas v'Shalom that he has to die, and where did I transfer to? I transferred to that thief that hurt that man that was trying to go and to buy his daughter a house and to marry his daughter. But Rabbi Elazar, and there the Zohar Kosh continues, and speaks about the koach, the power, Rabotai, of what? Teshuvah and tefillah. That Rabotai, there is nothing in our life that we can't change with prayer to our Father in the sky, and with teshuvah and with repentance. That we can't, Rabotai, sit back and say, you know, I'm in this position, there's nothing I can do. Hashem will help. You want Hashem to help? Get up. Make Him help you. Pray to Him. Do teshuvah. If you do so, Rabotai, there is nothing in the world that can hold back any decree, Chas v'Shalom, from being cancelled, from being obliviated. And that, Rabotai, is the secret to this gate. Where it says that the Malach Kafsiel, the angel Kafsiel, when does he open up the door? He opened up the door only when there is a tefillah, when there is a teshuvah, which is pure. The moment, Rabotai, that we are able to bring our hearts and our heads together, that they're both on the same page, where we pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, our hearts agree with what our brain is telling our mouth to say, and when we do something like that, Rabotai, there is nothing that we cannot change. But the first step, Rabotai, is creating that connection with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Having that bond. Remembering that He's not HaKadosh Baruch Hu, He's not just some sort of angel or some sort of, I don't know how people see HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but He actually acts like what? Like our Father. And if we do so, Rabotai, we are already one step closer in doing a complete teshuvah. Start talking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu like a father. You know, Rabotai, we say that, and throughout the class that we've been mentioning, I don't know if we've been mentioning here in Los Angeles, but in Canada and New York, we pushed it a lot. The concept of 2 minutes. What is this concept of 2 minutes? I think Rabotai is one of those beautiful things that anyone can do. You know, but I always say we spend so much time on our phone doing shtiyot. Abi Ariel, how much time do you spend on your phone? A day. Not an hour. How much time do you spend in a day?
Should I check?
No, don't check.
Probably like 4 hours.
4 hours. We spend so much time wasting on shtuyot. I always say, Rabotay, you take that same phone that you do so much shtuyot with, put a timer for 2 minutes, Ribono Shel Olam, 2 minutes, and you use the 2 minutes just to talk to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but not even to tell him thank you. Because some people, they're cynical. They're not going to say thank you. I have nothing to thank. Me, I have nothing. Hashem, I asked for something, He didn't give it to me. But to think, not even to think, to ask. Say, Hashem, I need this, Abba, I need this, Abba, I need this, Abba, I need this, Abba, I need this. That's the first step, Rabotay, to connection. If we can bring ourselves to that connection, Rabotay, we're already one step closer, doing a complete teshuvah, stepping close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, doing our tefillot, doing our teshuvah, and Be'ezat Hashem, getting any decree cancelled and obliviated out of existence. Amen. And now, Rabotay, there's another trick for the concept of teshuvah. In this Rabotay, I think is something that I want everyone to go home and to spread it and to teach it. I think Rabotay, it is something that our merit is going to be something amazing, and also the second piece of the shiur also attaches to this. Really, Rabotay, I want everyone to share this. Now, Rabotay, teshuvah, repents, or even tefillah, which tefillah could be a form of repenting, or doing teshuvah, actually has an effect in Shammai. We know, Rabotay, that up there, the more we learn with the Zohar Kadosh, we learn that every act we do has a reflection, has a reaction that happens up there. That bottom line, it's not people think of the Zohar, like, oh, it's all floating and something somehow gets from here to there, and something somehow gets from there to here, someone somehow gets sick, someone somehow gets... Every act you do has consequences, positive or negative. You do one thing, there is an entire world of actions to be brought and acted in order for that thing to come to a fruition. We establish that. So what really happens up there in Shamayim when one does teshuvah? And now maybe can we find another thing that does that exact same effect? You understand where I'm trying to take this? Everyone understands? If teshuvah does a certain effect, maybe we can find something else that does the exact same effect, so it's considered like we did a complete teshuvah. That it has the same, it's like the same two different buttons, but they both turn on the same light. That's the best way to give it as an analogy. So, Rabotay, the Zohar Kadosh says something simple. The Zohar Kadosh says, when one does teshuvah, what happens up there? When one repents, what happens up there? He repairs what? Not just the sfirot, but he repairs what? Repairs the bina. What is bina? So as we know, there is chokhmah, bina, dat. There are 3 different forms of consciousness that HaKadosh Baruch Hu acts with. Now we are actually brought down, and we actually receive even our intelligence, or a lot of our bracha from where? From the bina. And as we know, Rabotay, in a more simple way that more people can understand, intelligence, bina, is actually what gives us the freedom to sin. Because I give you an example, Rabotay. No one's going to give a dog a ticket if he crosses the road on a red light. Or no one's going to stop a dog for doing something that is not allowed. Why not? Because there's no bina. He's not chokhmah. Because he has no chokhmah, he's not reliable. He's not responsible for what he acts. But the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us this chokhmah, bina, and that, it also comes with what? Responsibility. Which we see, Rabotay, that we're the only creation in the entire world that has that intelligence. That intelligence comes from where? Comes from the consciousness of Hashem, which is chokhmah, bina, and dat. When I say conscious, I mean how Hashem acts. Now, when one does teshuvah, what does he repair? He repairs the bina. Bina is a sephirah, it's a light. When one does teshuvah, he's repairing that light, cleaning that light, bringing that light close to the other ones. It's like what we say, it's like an ecosystem, that when Adam sinned, he broke apart the ecosystem, and every single mitzvah that we do, we bring it closer to the other, and we're actually repairing and building back, like putting one element after the other one. So when one does teshuvah, he repairs the light of the bina. Zohar Kadosh says, where is the Zohar Kadosh written? Where was the Chokhmah Eliyona? Where is the knowledge of this spirituality? Where did it come from? So Zohar Kadosh said, it comes from a place called Ne'arot Abina, the rivers of Bina, where it's like rivers of knowledge and intelligence that was coming down, and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai learned how to tap into that river. And he would extract water from that river, which water is Torah, and that water translated to what? To the Zohar Kadosh. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai in the Zohar Kadosh teaches us, when one studies the teaching of the Binah, what does he do? He repairs the Binah. The exact same reaction, the exact same result as the one that does Teshuvah. And that's why we say, Rabotei, Zohar hu bebchinat Teshuvah. That Zohar, it's when one teaches, when one learns the Zohar, it reflects as what? As Teshuvah. It is like Teshuvah. It's the essence of the bebchinat.
It's the
aspect of Teshuvah. That when one studies Zohar Kadosh, it is like he's already doing Teshuvah. So, Rabotei, we're all going to read Zohar, we're all going to do Teshuvah tonight. So may HaKadosh Baruch Hu cancel out all those decrees and clean us and make us not just happy because we are grateful for what we have, but happy because we have everything. Amen. Now, Rabotei, the real question is, why does HaKadosh Baruch Hu punish us? Come on, Hashem. I love you, you love me. Why you give us these punishments? Why you have to give us these hardships where a person is working and suddenly he's in an uncomfortable situation where it's hard for him even to pray, even to do Avodat Hashem. Where his Parasha, he sweats for his Parasha. Or suddenly you see a person which is gets sick. He's like, why did he get sick? Or a person who's walking and he tripped and he fell and he broke his leg. Hashem, why did that happen? You couldn't find another way to translate even something wrong that I did in a different way. So actually, Rabotei, that's something that I want to speak about. And that is actually knowing what mitzvot to grab and knowing what averot to avoid. Because actually, Rabotei, the punishments and decrees that come upon a person are not just from wrongdoings. Because you know, but a lot of times, if a person is going to start looking for his wrongdoings, for some people it's very hard. Especially to repair all of them. But what averot, what sins can a person repair right now to get under that wing of teshuvah? We're no longer receiving those hits for those wrongdoings. So in order to understand that, Rabotei, we have to understand the different types of mitzvot and different types of averot. So we know, Rabotei, that for the mitzvot and for the averot, generally, there are two different types. There is the hard one, which is powerful, and then there is the easy one, which is nice. Say, okay, how does that translate in mitzvot? How does that translate in good deeds and in bad deeds? Very simple. A good deed, which is powerful, is what? Is a good deed? No, that has a ripple effect. Some mitzvot that one does don't just end right there, but actually continue on further. Where if a person comes now and he starts to spread and he starts to give a shiur, or to spread out divrei Torah, or to invite people to another shiur, or to help someone that you're bringing back somebody b'tshuva. That is a mitzvah that its result technically has no end. Because now you brought one person back b'tshuva. In 10 years from now, he's going to bring back another 2 people. Then those 2 people are going to bring back another 2 people in 30 years. That a person could leave this world 1,000 years ago. And what? And that mitzvah is still, the meter is still running. There is no end to the merit of that mitzvah. That is one type of mitzvah. Another type of mitzvah is what? A mitzvah that one does right now, and there it ends. Right there on that point, there it stops. So for example, and this is mechila, I'm not putting any mitzvah down or any lifting anyone others. They're all the same, but just there's different results. When one gets up and he does eats kasher. Mitzvah that you do right now, there it finishes. So if we can give it an analogy, we said that prayers or mitzvot, they compare to what? To money, to value. So if you were to take a mitzvah and act with it like money, you consider 2 different types of investments. One investment where you buy a pen and then the pen ends. The pen is here, that's it. The pen's not going to create you any more money. Then there are other investments, other purchases that one can do, And what happens? That purchase, somehow, he bought a house, he's renting it. That purchase is collecting more merit. So that could be acted with a mitzvah, but also can be done how? With a wrongdoing, with a mitzvah, with an avera. That a person now can come and say, you know what, why are you keeping Shabbat? Don't keep Shabbat. And you convince them to not keep Shabbat. And he went and convinced another 10 people to not keep Shabbat. And they went, so what happening to that sin? It's rippling down and traveling further. But then what happens to a person after he leaves this world? And a lot of us, we do sins that have a ripple effect. What? Does the sin continue to spread further and further? Can a person do 11 months, even Rasha, do 11 months of Gehenam to clean himself, then come to Gan Eden, sit down, his chant, say, Baruch Hashem, I got here, I'm sitting in Gan Eden. Then suddenly they say, the Avera you did 200 years ago, now it's still, they're woken up again, it got woken up, and then they drag him down to Gehenam again. How did that work? And an actual level, how does that come? Nobody asks this question. How does it actually work in a realistic point? Where what? The sins continue on, where Chas v'Shalom, a person can go together and be pulled down. So the Zohar Kadosh Rabotai and Chazal teach us something amazing. Chazal teach us that a mitzvah which has a ripple effect continues on to eternity. That any good deed that you do that has good consequences, Hashem lets that tree grow. It's like a seed. You put that seed, and that seed starts to put roots. Each root cuts to 2 roots, and that 2 roots cut to 4 roots, and it spreads further and further and further. That even after a person leaves this world, it continues to grow and continues to blossom. The reward of those mitzvot, it's a pity for HaKadosh Baruch Hu to give it to you now. Because if you used it right now and Hashem gave you right now a gift for the value of that mitzvah, it might be not worth much. Because you put $1, but that dollar and you will create another dollar, and that dollar and another will create another dollar. So in 30 years, how much is that? 30. But right now, how much is it? $1. So the reward for that mitzvah that you did one time will have consequences in the future is not worth much. So Hashem, which is kind and He wants His kids to have a lot of merit, what does He do? He keeps those mitzvot aside. He said that those are the mitzvot and I'm going to keep for a person to have afterwards. Because up there, the merit, the good deeds that you acted, its merit is yours forever. Where it says in Masechet Chulin, in page 9, Gedulim tzadikim b'mitatam la'Hashem mechayim. Tzadikim are bigger and stronger when they're no longer alive than when they're alive. Why? Because when they're alive, if they use their merit, it's gone. But when they leave this world, the merit that they had, they can give it and still keep it. Meaning they have a big account of 1,000, they can give 1,000, but in a split of a second, boom, it goes back to 1,000. Its balance always stays the same. So, for HaKadosh Baruch Hu to give you that merit right now, what is He going to essentially be doing? He gave you the reward, that's it. You use the reward, finish that mitzvah, it's like $1 that was put to waste. You bought shtuyot. You bought something and you threw it out. So there it's gone. So Hashem keeps those mitzvot inside. What mitzvot did HaKadosh Baruch Hu reward us right now? The mitzvot which are between me and Hashem. The mitzvot that don't necessarily have consequences or potential of multiplying double or triple and 3 times. Why? Because you did one mitzvah, it's going to give you the reward. Now you're going to have Parasha. But the same thing happens opposite with Averot. Where HaKadosh Baruch Hu says what? You're going to leave this world, Chas v'Shalom, go to paradise and be pulled down to hell? No. So what did HaKadosh Baruch Hu do? Instead of keeping the punishment for after 120 years, where a person leaves this world and has no longer a way to fix it, what does He do? He gives the punishment here. Where He dries up that seed right now. He burns that seed right now, that it gives no longer any potential for it to grow. That even if the ripple continued on and continued further, you already received your punishment while it was worth $1, not 30. You already took that pinch now while it's not valuable, and not when it's going to become very valuable and it's going to be a hard punishment. That what sins does a person get punished right away for? The sins that a person does, shumachti et rabbim. when one causes another person to sin. Because those are the sins that if Hashem doesn't dry out now, and Hashem doesn't clean them off your back right now, they could develop into a lifetime of Chas v'Shalom punishment. So Hashem kills the sins, but lets the mitzvot, lets the good deeds blossom and grow and multiply. Which Rabotai is such an amazing thing. So what a kindness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We went down to that level to make sure that Bnei Israel will always get the best deal of having the most merit and the most reward, and having the least punishment and the least suffering that could exist. And that Rabotai teaches us, first of all, the power of every mitzvah that we do, especially mitzvot that have to do with others, giving tzedakah, helping others. You find a person that didn't do tefillin, put him tefillin. You see a person that maybe not keeping full kashrut because something is wrong, help him. You see a person now that is in the kitchen, something is not kasher, fix it. In mitzvah, that we know that its merit will multiply and multiply and multiply. Those are mitzvot that we must do, because those are mitzvot that its reward is endless. The mitzvot that are right now between us and Hashem, and there it ends, that's our pocket change. That's the merit that we can draw from, that's the merit that we can use, because that's the merit where whatever it's worth, that's what it's worth, period. But in the same way, in that same very fashion, we have to be so careful to never cause another person to fall. Because if Chas v'Shalom Rabotai would cause another person to fall, its punishment comes right away. It doesn't wait for us. If you do one thing, it's going to hit you right in the back in order to clean that off your back, in order for you to not hold those dirt, that mud that's going to sit on you and Chas v'Shalom multiply in years to come. And that is why, Rabotai, we have to be so careful. Lashon hara. Lashon hara, Rabotai, is a sin that we cause other people to sin. Because the one that's hearing it is your partner. You forced upon somebody to be a partner in a sin. Chas v'Shalom, if you're in charge of feeding somebody and you feed them something that's not kasher. Any Chas v'Shalom thing, Rabotai, where one does la'achti, la'apil, or to cause someone else to do something bad, those are the sins, Rabotai, that we get those pinches from. And if we can avoid that and focus on only the mitzvot that multiply, our merit will be big, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu will have we will have big influence up there in Shamayim, and we'll be able to get all our prayers heard and all our wishes fulfilled. Amen. So I want everyone, Rabotai, to take upon themselves today, in the merit of Chanukah, a mitzvah that they know will multiply. A mitzvah that they know will go far, a mitzvah that they know will continue forward and grow. And in that same very way, look for something that's not good that we cause other people to do, and we stop it. And if we can do that, B'ezrat Hashem, Rabbi Pinto, you will be blessed, B'ezrat Hashem.
So we don't know why.
Look, Hashem that cannot punish you for things that you don't remember. The problem is that if you don't do teshuvah for them, that's where the problem is. So if you come and say, no, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I want to take a different path. Hashem, I can't tell you, I don't remember, I can't even count what I did in the past. But I'm taking upon myself a different path. But from now on, I'm going to be more conscious. I'm going, like we said, Rabotai, it's the intention that counts. We gave an entire shiur about that, when was it, 2 weeks ago? Where the intention is what's powerful. If our intentions are pure, no matter if the result is 100%, 50%, that's already something else. But if our intentions are clean, that's when we did it on Shabbat, Rabbi Aharon, with Shlomo HaMelech. So when our intentions are pure and when our intentions are clean, that is when we are counted. Not upon necessarily what we did in the past. We can't look like that. Because for a person to go back 30 years, it's impossible. But we can start today. And if we start today is positive, we can reach to big success. Making other people be a part of a team. There could be so many things. Be'emet, so many things. It's endless. Cause someone else to do good, inspire someone else, help someone else, and that's already more than enough.
You can give tzedakah to outreach programs.
Exactly. Now it's Chanukah. Find someone that doesn't have a Chanukah. Give him some candles. Go light Chanukah with him. Someone that you know maybe is not close enough to light a Chanukah on his own. He's not at that place, not at that level yet to go to light the Chanukah. He's a little bit far. Sometimes there are people that are a little bit far. Go light him a Chanukah. It's endless opportunities we have to spread Torah. If we open our eyes, we'll see a world. If we don't open our eyes, we can't expect to see anything. We say, Reya osa keli. Whatever we look at, where we see, where we want, where we direct our head to see, we create a vessel. We create a reality where we open our eyes. If we look for bad, we find bad. If we look for good, we'll find good.